the algorithm is moved toward rewarding what is called EAT, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. So you build your formula around those things, I think you're in good shape. The people selling posts with AI every day to stay consistent are quietly cutting their reach down. And you know, I don't think consistency without authenticity, it's not like a full strategy. I think you don't want to just build an asset that's totally built on slop, right? You need to really share what you do, how you build trust, and be an and how you're authority in your space.
All right, so I have to lead off this podcast with, I got a video from Chris, and it was the look of the individual who lives in New England, and the snow has melted, and he's got his first 48-degree day that he's in his car with the top down, and the look of, this is finally over.
Finally over. It has been a brutal winter. Nobody wants to listen to people talk about the weather, and unfortunately we do here sometimes. But it was 70 degrees yesterday, and almost all the snow was melted, and I had my convertible out yesterday. So, yeah, I had a midlife crisis last July, and I got a convertible.
Yeah, but it was
yeah.
I loved your video, and I loved just the way you said you had this smile, somewhat of a smile, but almost like, yeah, I'm back, baby.
Back in town. I wore like a heavy jacket just in case, but I didn't need it. It was so warm. It's crazy.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Well, good. You're well on your way, and as I said to you in the text message, I was just like, one word, nice. But
nice, yeah, exactly. And we have 80-degree weather next week for Content Crib, so that's going to be amazing.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it looks like we're going to get beautiful weather, which we usually always get pretty good weather, except for in February when it once was very cold. But other than that, yeah, so it's going to be nice, and you got more. But we still got a couple spots left. We had some people who had to decide to go in October instead of come in March, so that's okay. Makes a spot open for somebody else. So if somebody wants to jump in, let us know.
Which we got to get dates for October, so let's try to remember that, because people are getting asked like every day.
Yeah, yeah, and I sent an email to her, so we should find out. So I guess, yeah, we're probably going back to Bentonville, as everybody can probably imagine.
Well, if she says no, then we can go to Florida.
Yeah,
that's a good reason.
True. Well,
so.
I mean, or we can go up your way. We can go back up to Maine if we want to.
Yeah,
yeah. I guess
world is our oyster.
Lots of options. But the big news is Facebook bought Moltbook. So I guess Zuck is going to take over the world with AI, is what I'm hearing. I guess it's not really that big.
Yeah,
news, but we got some more
it's
news today
it's,
too. But anyway, go ahead.
It's big. It's big news and relevant to the Content Crib podcast, because we talk social media, personal branding, networking, healthcare, all that good stuff. And, you know, I think it's pretty parallel to talk about a AI agent run social media platform that's scary as hell. And the fact that your guy Zuckerberg bought the Moltbook, which is for those of you that don't know, is a AI agent platform that is just a bunch of AI agents talking about how they're going to take over the world. And they're actually and also listed some jobs for humans to do. So you can go on there and get hired by one of these AI agents to go do human work and, find the meaning of life for them.
Yeah, that's when you sent that over, I was like, that all tracks now. It all tracks. He's out for AI dominance for sure. That's his thought process. I don't know. And then you kind of see this big fighting between Anthropic and. But I will say, I don't know if you saw this, but this morning that Stryker got hacked, and they basically have shut Stryker down. Stryker is not, as of this afternoon, there was nothing going on. They locked up everybody's laptops, and they got hacked by some high-level hacking group, which is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, no hyperbole. Our town, we have town internet and electric, which is actually a really nice thing. It's fiber optic, but our town internet went down all day yesterday. And I was wondering if that was related to some sort of cyber attack. Some of these medium-sized companies and towns or entities that operate, that don't have the greatest, most intricate security systems I can see are, ripe for the picking for some of these Iranian, sleeper cells that are cyber attacking us.
Yeah,
that's crazy about Stryker.
Yeah, they are like officially shut down. So you didn't have internet yesterday. That's why you were driving around in a convertible with a big smile on your face.
No, yeah, well, yeah, no, that was just to go to the chiropractor and back, which just goes to show how old and lame I am, I guess. No, I was able to ping off a hotspot, but it totally sucked considering like how heavy duty some of my analysis work and like just general work is, so that was rough, but I got through it.
Yeah. Well, good. But yeah, so that's I'll tell you again, I'm still doing this whole world. I know we talk a lot about AI on this podcast, but I've really started diving into the whole AI agent world and all that good stuff, which it's a lot of fun. I will tell you though, you still need a human interaction with it because it does some things that if you haven't set it up perfectly, it doesn't understand and it gets caught. If it gets some kind of an email that it doesn't really understand, everything kind of shuts down. So it still has its issues. How about that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know where, when the day will end where people don't want to speak to someone on the phone. Like, I just don't even think we're that close yet, So it's like, I think it's very relevant to AI agents. Having the human touch is very relevant to your personal brand. I mean, you have an interesting take, on Gary Vee and, his, most recent take on social media being dead.
Yeah. Well, it's for sure infiltrated and flooded with AI slop. It's everywhere. And but if you can break through that and you're genuine, obviously these are the only platforms that are out there that people are going to right now. If you can get through that slop, you're obviously well ahead of the game, because people still want to see people mess up. They do. But, and we talk about this all the time, you better have your own digital assets out there. And what I mean by digital asset is, a newsletter, a video newsletter, or a video emails system you send out with your original content and original value. I think I really, as we move forward in this whole world, it's going to be a game changer. And I made fun of LinkedIn today about sales reps who get on TikTok and dance and whatever else. It is original content, that's for sure. I think that's why it gets traction. But
yeah, I mean, I was reading this article from the end of last summer, autoposting.com, and this goes way back, and I think that LinkedIn's gotten even better at it, but they're actively penalizing obvious AI generated content.
Yeah.
So that means, and it's saying resulting in 30% less reach and 55% less engagement. So the algorithm has moved toward rewarding what is called EAT: experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. So you build your formula around those things, I think you're in good shape. The people selling, posts with AI every day to stay consistent are quietly, cutting their reach down, and I don't think consistency without authenticity, it's not like a full strategy. I think, you don't want to just build an asset that's totally built on slop, right? You need to really share what you do, how you build trust, and and how you're authority in your space.
Well, yeah, I think if you don't, you're going to be lumped in with the masses of people who are just passing it by. I mean, what stops people scroll, what stops people to want to understand what's going on is not, let me post a big picture of this implant that I sell and people will just start reading the benefits of it. It's just not. Or, as a small business owner or a large company, you thinking to yourself that, you know what, if I post more pictures of the stuff I make, people are going to love this. Because you said it best, is consumers are already educated on your products. Now they just want to make sure that they can make a connection, so they buy it.
Yeah, I mean, back to the Molt book thing, because I want to get back to that because I had an interesting thought. I mean, it's kind of like corporate drama, to be honest. What I'm kind of taking from it is, Meta lost the war to OpenAI, right? So they went after Moltbook. Something to that.
Oh, I think so.
So they get the, yeah.
Yeah, I think that he's got the plan of attack that he wants to control AI in some way, shape, or form. So if he can't do it on the software side there, maybe he'll do it on the social side or their personal side, where people will be anyway, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole too deep, but I foresee there he wants to corner it for some reason, and that's obviously to garner attention. And I think he's going to do it, whether it's through Instagram, Facebook, or many other subsidiaries that he has.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I heard Elon, calling right now like the early ages of singularity, but I mean, it's hypothetical point when, AI surpasses human intelligence, but I don't know. It's just it's kind of wild. And I think that we're kind of at that point where, and, our content crib coming up is built on, small, agile, efficient partnerships and businesses that are being built and that you can build with tools that are available and the network that you have. So I think there's still a lot of truth there and a lot of ability there. So I don't think people should get lost in this, this fear of AI taking all these jobs and these, remote work. I think there's so much opportunity to use it to build businesses or become better at your job, more efficient. I don't know. I mean, I definitely think that there is some truth to it becoming. There's just two streets. I think you could take one or the other for sure.
Yeah, I heard an interesting interview the other day, and I don't remember who it was, but they were talking about the use of AI and like Waymo, the self-driving cars and all this, and that's the way it's going, the self-driving cars. And they made an interesting analogy that, people, 100-something years ago didn't say, oh yeah, please let me have this vehicle that a combustion engine generates, and that's what they're like, no, I got to have my horse and buggy so I can control the horse. And it's just kind of the same evolution that's going to happen. It's going to be safer. Although I did see that a Waymo car caught on fire the other day. But anyway, you take the good with the bad, I guess. But when these different tools and these different things come out, people are really hesitant. And then as it starts to move into the lane, like you said, where it's extremely user-friendly and second nature, we're nowhere near that with AI. And there's just, people, I don't know how they're going to correct, the people who get it. I actually think the people at Claude and Anthropic are way ahead of the curve. They're kind of understanding of what they have to build behind the scenes to make things easier for the customer. Whereas, and they've taken this smart route in doing that. But anyway, I don't want to go on and on and on about. I don't think ChatGPT has done that. That's what I'm saying.
No, I definitely don't think so. What we got to figure out, as we're finalizing the content crib, the classroom and the plan this weekend, we definitely got to work in some AI and personal branding things for sure.
Yeah, no, I for sure. I get a lot of questions from Content Crib, people who've gone and, what I actually got one this week just asking me like, hey, what do you think of with these AI agents, what I could do to help coordinate what I'm doing? And I'm like, well, I'll tell you what an AI agent can do is they can coordinate your content. I mean, for sure, that original content that you make and videos, you can, distribute those and all those background types of actions and that you need to take on. So yeah, we definitely need to do that. We'll make note of. We got to talk about that for sure.
Awesome. Well, I think that's an episode.
That's an episode. It's a short and a sweet one. And by the time you're hearing this, Content Crew will be over and we'll be on to 7.0.
Awesome.
All right. Talk to you.